Uh-oh. Is it not? Are you guys not getting the video? Oh, there we go. Okay. I don't know why YouTube didn't send the video, but it's there now. Hello, OA, Apparition, and Nagels. Here we are, sooner than I expected, at the end of Tsukiotoshi. Wow, I can't wait to get into the future console arcs. Woo! Okay, so last time we found Satoko and Shion both dead. And if you've seen, great, you can hear? Awesome, OA. If you've seen Minaguroshi and Matsudabayashi, you know how they died. And it's really ridiculously tragic, but the biggest tragedy then is that Mion, who was just only trying to help, and she just wanted to know what was going on because she was left out of all the events of this arc. She dressed up as Shion, and that just sent Rena's suspicions overboard, and Rena murdered her. And oh god, damn. What a tragedy. And now just... oh my god. Let's just see how this fragment ends. I'm just... ugh. Jesus Christ. Just remembering that. I don't think there's any hope for the people in this fragment. Oh god. So before we start, just checking, can you hear me? Can everybody hear me okay? And please tell me once the music and voices start if you could hear those okay. Alright? Let's get back into it. The night was approaching. As the sun went down, only a little light remained in the mountain tops. The fishy smell of blood lingered in the air, and Mion's voice was still ringing in my ears. I felt like I was about to drift off into the sky. Mion's long hair fluttered in the wind and struck my feet. Rena was kneeling with Mion's head in her lap, stroking Mion's hair. Oh god, it didn't save my sprite settings for some reason. There we go.
人って死んじゃうんだね。
Oh god. Baby girl. Oh god.
I guess she's dead.
Rena gazed at Mion's lifeless lips and spoke in a nonchalant tone. In a voice that sounded like she had already forgotten what she had done with her own hands.
みーちゃんはね、
Sorry about that.
みーちゃん。レナが引っ越してきた時、初めて声をかけてくれた子な
Oh
んだよ。
god, baby girl.
You were the first person to talk to me after I moved here.
The people of Hinamizawa had a strong bond with one another, but tended to treat outsiders coldly. Even though Rena was originally from Hinamizawa, and she only spent a relatively short time outside the village, the villagers still treated her like an outsider when she returned. Come to think of it, was it any different from me? Maybe it was because of Dad's strong personality, or maybe it was because I'd made some good friends at school, but I was fortunate enough that it never caused any issues. However, Mom had to regularly interact with the villagers face to face, so it was probably really hard on her in the beginning.
引っ越してくる前の学校でいろいろあってね。Rena had some issues back at the old school before moving here. あの頃、 レナはちょっと辛かったんだよね、精神的に。
My mental health was in poor shape back then, and I was in a lot of pain.
一からやり直そうと思ってこっちに来たのに、前に住んでいた町と全然違うから、どうしていいのかわからなかった。
I thought that moving here would give me a fresh start, but it was so different from the town I lived in before that I didn't know what to do.
不安でいっぱいの中、初めて学校へ行ってね。
I was really nervous on
み
my
ーちゃんに会ったの。
Oh, God.
I was really nervous on my first day of school, and then I met Mi-chan.
初めてレナに声をかけてくれたのはみーちゃんだった。
Mi-chan was the first person to talk to Rena after coming here.
レナって言うんだ。
They call you Rena?
いい名前だね。
That's a nice name.
困ったことがあるなら何でもいいなよ。
Feel free to tell me if you have any problems, okay?
この村では隠し事なんかしてもすぐにバレちゃうんだから。
Because in this village, even if you try to keep something secret, it'll get out pretty quickly.
そんな不安そうな顔しなくても大丈夫だよ。
Don't look so nervous. Everything will be okay.
私に任せときなって。
Leave everything to me. Oh God, big sis Mion.
レナは家族のことでちょっと悩んでたんだけど、
She is such a good person, seriously.
Rena was having some family troubles.
そんな悩み事打ち明ける必要なんて全くなかった。
But she never pressured me to talk about it.
レナの家族について悪い噂を流そうとする人もいたみたいなんだけど、
Some people started spreading nasty rumors about Rena's family, but
みーちゃんがそういうのは全部レナの耳に入らないようにしてくれたみたい。
Wow. Mion, oh my God.
but Mi-chan took care of everything. So those rumors never bothered Rena.
毎日一緒に学校に行ってリカちゃんやさとこちゃんや他のお友達の仲間に入れてくれて、
Going to school every day, making friends with Rika-chan, Satoko-chan, and everyone else.
みーちゃんと一緒にいるとレナの悩み事なんてすごくちっぽけなことに思えてくる。
When I was with Mi-chan, all my troubles seemed so insignificant.
レナにここで両足でしっかり立って生きていく勇気をくれたんだよ。みーちゃんは
Mi-chan gave Rena the courage to stand on her own 2 feet in this town.
Rena let out a brief sigh while gently stroking Mion's hair. The smell of Mion's shampoo tickled my nose as the breeze carried it over. Somehow, despite coming from a corpse, it was a lovely scent.
あんなに優しかったのに、
Oh God.
She was so kind.
あんなに頼りになる仲間だったのに。
She was such a reliable friend.
ねえケイチくん、どうしてこんなことになっちゃったんだろうね。
Hey, Keiichi-kun, why did it have to happen like this?
Rena twirled Mion's hair around her finger as she asked me that. Why did it happen? I didn't understand it either. I couldn't answer Rena's question. There was no way I could answer that, so I simply bowed my head and remained silent. Mion's hair slipped through Rena's fingers in a gentle arc.
何が間違ってたんだろうね。
Where did things go wrong?
どこで歯車が狂っちゃったんだろう。
When did the gears start spinning out of control?
レナは何を間違えたんだろう。
Did Rena do something wrong?
どうしてだろうね。
How did this happen?
Rena went on, talking to herself. I felt the same way. I had mixed feelings as I gazed at Mion's closed eyes, knowing they would never open again. Just then, I thought I caught a glimpse of one of her eyelashes moving. Ugh. I stared intently at Mion's eyelashes.
どうしてだろうね。
When What's going on?
ね、ケイチくん。
Hey, Keiichi-kun?
ケイチくん、
Keiichi-kun?
There was no way Mion could open her eyes. She's not going to move. Because Mion is already dead, right? I just kept staring at her closed eyes. Lovely Mion. She was our friend. But Mion killed Shion and Satoko. That impersonated Shion while trying to kill us. That's not true, Keiichi! God damn it! In order to carry out the curse of Oyashiro-sama, there was no point in figuring out who failed or what went wrong. Oyashiro-sama's existence was the cause of all the problems in the village. It was all Oyashiro-sama's fault. Oyashiro-sama was the one manipulating Mion.
ケイチくん、
Oh god.
大丈夫？
Keiichi-kun? Are you okay?
顔色が悪いみたいだよ。
You're looking a little pale.
そろそろ帰ろうか。
Should we head home soon?
Oh, right. Rena quietly slid Mion's head off her knees and onto the ground. I took a deep breath and slowly got up. As I got up, dust floated onto Mion's beautiful hair. A person who was alive just this morning was lying here dead, lying unprotected on this mountain of trash, unable to resist the dust collecting on her. I felt sorry for Mion. It was Oyashiro-sama's meddling that got her killed. How unfortunate. All things considered, killing Mion wasn't one of our biggest problems.
間違いとかそんなんじゃないんだと思う。
Keiichi too. God damn you both. Seriously. I shouldn't say that because it's technically... It's not really their fault. It's all because of this stupid Yamazawa bullshit. I don't think we made any mistakes.
これがミオンの運命だったんだ。
This was Mion's destiny. Hello, Void Dweller. Welcome to the stream. I said that, trying to convince myself of that. Mion was just a pawn of Oyashiro-sama. She was destined to die. It couldn't be helped. It couldn't be helped. There's it couldn't be helped again.
運命、
Destiny?
こんな死に方がみーちゃんの運命だったんだ。
Mi-chan was destined to die like this?
Rena meekly lifted her head to respond to my comment. She wiped the blood from Mion's cheeks with her slender fingertip, then turned to me with a cruel light in her eyes. Then, a chill ran down my back. Rena, what were you thinking just now? Rena was quickly growing distant from me. What is she thinking? Then I remembered. Rena was the kind of person who could put on a cheerful smile right after killing a person. But right now her face looks so sad. So what is she thinking? As I pondered the best way to ask Rena what she meant, she interrupted with words of her own.
帰ろうか。
And let's go home.
Yeah. My timing was off.
どうしたのケイチくん。
What's wrong, Keiichi-kun?
ぼんやりしてるみたいだよ。
You look a little absent-minded.
元気出してほしいな。
I hope you feel better.
Rena gave me her usual smile while trying to encourage me.
俺は元気だぞ。
I'm feeling okay, aren't I? That defensive answer was the best I could muster. I was frustrated that Rena had taken the lead in the conversation. I missed my chance to get a read on Rena's true feelings, and saying something foolish now would only make things worse. I stealthily looked over at Rena's expression, desperately trying to get a handle on her real intentions. What was that face you made a little while ago? What were you thinking? No way, Rena. Were you thinking about me? Rena maintained the smile on her face while slightly tilting her head to the side.
そっか。
I see.
ケイ Keiichi君が元気ならよかった。
If Keiichi-kun is feeling okay, that's good.
元気じゃないとレナも悲しくなっちゃうしね。
Because if you were feeling unwell, Rena would be sad too.
俺が元気だとどうなるんだ？
But if I wasn't feeling fine, then what? If I wasn't feeling fine, would that cause problems for Rena?
元気ならいいと思うな。思うな。
If you're feeling fine, that's good. I think so. I think so.
Rena made a sweet smile. She was smiling at me to convey that she understood. The two of us are accomplices in the murders of Teppei and Mion. Murder is a sin that we'll have to carry on our backs for the remainder of our lives. That's why she's able to smile and maintain a superficial relationship. We'll have to get along for the rest of our lives. And yet, just what on earth was Rena up to? Feelings of distrust towards Rena were building up. There's a typo here. By the way, I know OA, she was counting the typos to fix later.
じゃあ行こっか。
Well, let's get going.
Rena rose to her feet. I noticed a brief glimmer near the hem of her skirt. It looked like she was adjusting the hem of her skirt, but I caught a glimpse of something hidden behind her back. The hatchet. The same hatchet that drew Mion's blood earlier. The blood in my body receded as I began to understand what that meant. Why, Rena? Why are you hiding the hatchet from me? Like, seriously, she just used it. Baby girl, Keiichi knows you have it. You literally just used it to kill Mion. Oh, God. I looked down at Mion on the ground. The blood flowing out had completely dried up. Rena, are you planning to kill me with that hatchet too? I glanced over at Rena once more, but she was just staring vacantly at Mion's body. Even so, that hatchet Rena kept hidden was the only thing that spoke to her true feelings. The burden of being an accomplice will last a lifetime. It was a heavy bond, stronger than marriage. Just imagining it made me feel dizzy. God damn! Even in a situation as terrible as this, they managed to give me some shipping! My God! Rena gently moved her hands. Was she moving the hatchet? I swallowed a gulp of saliva. Come to think of it, where did I put that kitchen knife I was carrying until a little while ago? I looked around, but I couldn't see it. I kept looking and looking, but oddly enough, I couldn't see the kitchen knife anywhere. But I noticed Rena gazing in my direction. I quickly looked up towards the sky to hide my vexation.
みーちゃんをここに残しておくわけにはいかないよね。
We can't leave Michan here, can we?
My wandering gaze halted when I heard Rena's stern voice. We can't leave Mion here? You mean moving the corpse? Why? Nobody ever comes here. It's safer here than anywhere else, isn't it? I couldn't comprehend what Rena was thinking when she said that.
どこに持ってくんだよ？
Where should we take her? I carefully tried to keep my dismay from coming out. Maybe she wanted to bury her somewhere like we did with Teppei Hojo? Was there a chance she wanted to kill me too?
みーちゃんをさとこちゃんとしーちゃんの近くで眠らせてあげようよ。
We should lay Michan to rest near Satoko-chan and Shi-chan.
Rena spoke to Mion in a gentle voice. It was an affectionate voice, like a mother addressing her child. Yeah. Rena's voice made me feel better for a moment. I felt ashamed of myself for doubting her. But was Rena truly speaking from the bottom of her heart right there? After some internal debate, I decided she was lying. Rena was the kind of person who could lie without flinching. Up until now, after killing Tepe and after killing Mion, I noticed something a little off. Rena was the sort of person who could skillfully wear one face while concealing another. So we better not to carelessly trust everything Rena says. My heart started to feel lighter as I pondered that. I started to relax after admitting to myself that I shouldn't trust Rena. If that's the case, it made things easy. Just don't trust Rena. I need to consider my next move with that premise in mind. It's far easier than being lost in a cycle of wanting to trust her, but unable to do it. Shion and Satoko should still be resting in the Hojo house. When the police get around to investigating the house, their investigation might derail under the assumption that Mion was killed there. Despite how compassionate Rena looked, my mind was thinking meticulously, so I nodded to her in a manner that made it seem like her kindness got through to me.
そうだな。
You're right.
みんなと一緒の方がミオンも安心するよな。
Mion would be more at ease together with everyone else. I had a distant look in my eyes while staring vacantly at Mion. Her neck was bent at a sad angle, so I looked down and bit my lip in regret. The next struggles for survival had already begun. I held my breath while waiting for Rena's reaction. Not sure if she noticed it or not, but she started to walk completely silently. The yard in front of Rena's house was packed full of junk like always. It was rather far from Satoko's house. We came here to pick up the pushcart so we could carry Mion to Satoko's house.
リアカーどこに置いてあったっけな。
No, where is the cart?
Rena sifted through a pile of junk while searching for the cart. The yard was almost as cluttered as the garbage mountain we were at earlier. We used that cart the other day to bring the Colonel Randy doll here, didn't we? Jeez. I remember reading that so long ago. I thought so, but I stopped myself before saying anything. This entire area was packed with items that Rena collected on a daily basis. Oh my god, See, now this is another thing I wanted us to do in the main story, but they never got to. In Onikakushi, they set up Rena's house as like cluttered with all these, and Rena's yard is cluttered with all these miscellaneous cute kitschy things that she's acquired. But we never once went there or even had any kind of scary situation there. And it's so weird because I thought we would, because that seems like a really good setup for like something that could be spooky in the right context. And now we finally are. Well, if rumors ever started going around calling this the garbage house, I couldn't exactly object. I pretended to help Rena search for the cart while carefully searching the area. The house seemed awfully quiet. I wonder if anyone is home? Though I was looking around restlessly, my eyes stopped when Rena called out to me in a sharp voice.
ケイチ君、お茶とか飲むかな。
Keiichi-kun, can I get you some tea or anything?
Rena looked back at me while searching the back of the shed.
別にいらないけど。
No, I don't need anything. My throat was dry, but I wanted to avoid giving Rena an opportunity to escape from my line of sight. I still wasn't sure what Rena was thinking, so I needed to carefully monitor her movements. Because I couldn't trust Rena.
ふーん、いらないんだ。
I guess we don't need to.
せっかくお茶でも入れてあげようと思ったのにな。
I just thought it'd be nice to make some tea.
いらないんだ。
You really don't need any?
レナのこと、ひょっとして信用してないのかな。
Is there a chance you don't trust Rena?
Even though Rena should have been standing in the back of the shed, I found her standing right beside me, glaring at me with a horrifyingly distrusting look in her eyes.
What
is it?
レナを信じないで誰を信じろって言うんだよ。
If I didn't trust you, who could I trust? I tried to laugh it off, but my face struggled to play along.
そうだよね。
Is that so?
レナもケイイチ君のこと信じてるよ。
Rena believes in Keiichi-kun too.
絶対に何があってもね。
Definitely. No matter what happens.
There we go. It always takes me a while to get back into the Rena voice. Rena slash Shannon voice. Rena's facial expression didn't change at all. I trust you too. I wanted to say that, but I couldn't get the words out of my throat.
見つけたんだよ、リアカ。
I found the cart.
埋もれててわからなかったけど。ほら。
It was hard to find because it was buried. Take a look.
Rena banged on the rails of the cart. It was covered in a blue tarp.
そう。
I see.
じゃあ行こうか。
Then let's get going.
俺が引いてやるよ。
I'll pull it. I offered to pull the cart instead of Rena. Suddenly, Rena's shoulders twitched prominently enough that I could notice it from 50 centimeters away. And during that time frame, the blue tarp over the cart seemed to move slightly. Rena immediately pushed the tarp down, but I clearly saw it. I saw a familiar-looking kitchen knife right next to Rena. Oh, God. It was the knife I was looking for a while ago. The same knife that sucked the blood from Satoko and Shion, then stabbed Mion in the heart. I was looking everywhere for it, but I had no idea that Rena was secretly carrying it. Rena had somehow found it, and secretly tucked it away without me realizing.
あ、いいよ。
That's okay.
レナ一人で大丈夫だから。
Rena can handle it alone just fine.
兄ちゃんを乗っけたら、ケイイチ君にも手伝ってもらおうかな。
And once you get Micha, you can help out.
Rena shamelessly donned her cute mode. It was painful to look at. Rena, what do you plan on stabbing with that kitchen knife? Let me rephrase that. Who do you plan on stabbing?
ケイイチ君、どうしたの？
Keiichi-kun? What's wrong?
怖い顔してるけど、何か考え事かな？
You've got a scary look on your face. What are you thinking about?
気のせいだろ。
Just my imagination.
行こ
Let's get going. As I said that, I quickly surveyed the area. It looked like Rena was hiding her hatchet earlier. Where did it go? Rena brought it home with her, right? Was she preparing the knife because she didn't want to use the hatchet? That's too bad, Rena. I'll be the one to grab that hatchet. My eyes stopped on the shadow of the shed. I could see the blade of the hatchet hidden there.
う。後ろを押してやるよ。
I'll push it from behind. I moved around to the back of the cart without saying anything more.
ああ、ケイイチ君。
Oh, Keiichi-kun.
そんなに押したら向きが曲がっちゃうよ。
If you push too hard, it'll start pointing in the wrong direction.
Rena started walking forward, pulling the cart to straighten it out. She adjusted the angle of the cart so it was no longer facing the shed. I swiftly grabbed the hatchet from the shadow of the shed and gently set it down in the cargo bay without making a sound. And on the other side of the cart, I caught a glimpse of the knife Rena had hidden earlier.
リアカって何も乗ってないのに結構重いよね。
God damn it, it really hurts to see them preparing to kill each other like this. God damn it!
There's nothing in this cart. Absolutely nothing at all. But it's still pretty heavy.
Rena quickly turned back and pulled the tarp down. Did she notice something? There's no point in hiding it now. I already know there's a kitchen knife hidden in there. The question is why?
疲れてるから余計そう感じるんじゃないのか。
Aren't you feeling tired after all we've been through?
レナ、無理するなよ。
Don't push yourself too hard, Rena.
大丈夫か？
Are you sure you're okay?
リアカー引くのいつでも代わってやるぜ。
I can take over at any time if you need me to, okay? I even surprised myself with how gentle my voice came out. At this point, I know Rena has the kitchen knife, but Rena doesn't know that I have the hatchet. That fact brought me a small amount of relief. I was in the superior position here, or at least I should be.
大丈夫だよ。
It's alright.
今日のケイイチくん、とびきり優しいかも。
Oh, God. You're awfully kind today, Keiichi-kun.
それじゃあ甘えていいのかな
Ah, this is not the context I want to say these words in. God damn it!
You're really spoiling me, huh? Huh.
Rena looked back at me while pulling the cart, with a sweet smile, but her eyes weren't smiling.
甘え方にもよるな。
Come on, behave yourself. I flashed her a big smile.
ケイイチくんの意地悪。
They're even flirting in a situation like this. Jesus Christ.
You're so mean, Keiichi-kun. How?
Our shadows melted into the dusk. This was a matter of survival. This was the only way to break the heavy shackles of our collusion. Kill before being killed. That's one of the basic rules of survival. No, God damn it! If Rena is willing to go that far, I'm prepared to fight. The last thing I'd ever want to see is Rena and Keiichi killing each other. And I'm definitely going to win. As I decided that, I gazed at the bulge on the tarp where the hatchet was hiding underneath. Oh damn, that was a shorter chapter than I thought it would be. Interesting. I grabbed Mion's heavy body by the shoulders, and Rena grabbed her by the feet as we loaded her into the cart. Then we covered her with the blue tarp. Right before that, I discreetly moved the hatchet to the ground, all the while praying that Rena didn't notice. When I raised my head to take a look around, Rena was simply staring at the ground. We pretended not to notice one another.
行こうぜ。
Let's get going.
今度は俺が引くよ。
I'll pull the cart this time.
レナ、後ろを押してくれ。
You can push from the back, Rena.
わかった。
Sure, got it.
Her response sounded mechanical. Her voice was inorganic, devoid of any emotion. I casually turned around while Rena was looking in the other direction. Then I picked up the hatchet and gently tucked it under the tarp.
押すよ。
pushing now.
The cart nearly crashed into me as it started to move. We slowly pulled the cart, carrying Mion away from the garbage mountain. I suddenly remembered the day that Rena and I brought the Colonel Randy doll back. I made an offhand joke about the time how it felt like we were pushing around a dead body, but I never thought I'd actually be transporting a corpse this way. And to top it off, it was Mion's body. This was turning into a farce. I'll say it is. Oh my god. The extreme force I had to project into my hands to pull the cart signified the weight of Mion's existence. I fought back the urge to cry as I walked to Satoko's house with heavy footsteps. I spent the whole time praying that we wouldn't run into anyone. Exactly! Like, can you imagine? Like, you would think that Uishi would be patrolling the village or something. What was Rena thinking back there while pushing the cart with our stiff cargo? I'm confident, at least until we reach Satoko's house. There's no risk of her doing something with that kitchen knife. Probably. I cautiously looked back, hoping to discern something of the thoughts Rena kept locked in her heart. Rena didn't look back at me. She kept looking downward, concentrating solely on the task of walking forward, one step at a time. Right. Seeing Rena's emotionless expression was unbearably disheartening. I'll say that would be. When did this happen? My stomach churned because I couldn't comprehend what she was thinking. What was Rena thinking right now? I can't trust anyone. It was a hopeless thing to say, but I couldn't allow anyone to make things worse. I wanted to talk to Mion, who was lying dead in the cargo rack. There was some peace to be gained from her death. She'll never have a sudden change of heart and try to kill me. Hey, Mion, please listen to me. Honestly, I'm afraid of Rena. At this point, it felt it was safe to tell Mion anything. It was such a cynical relationship, where we couldn't trust each other until one of us was dead. Does that really qualify as a trusting relationship?
ケイちゃん、バッカじゃないの？
Kei-chan, you idiot!
そんなの信頼関係なんて言うわけないじゃん。
Don't you dare call that a trusting relationship.
友達でもなんでもないよ。
Doesn't friendship mean anything?
I felt like I could hear Mion's voice. That's true. If I couldn't bring myself to trust someone while they were still alive, that didn't sound like friendship at all.
でも安心しな。
But don't worry,
おじさんはケイちゃんのこと応援してるからさ。
because this old man is rooting for you, Kei-chan.
私はケイちゃんの友達だよ。
Because I'm your friend,
絶対に。
no matter what.
Mion's cheerful voice called out to me over and over.
ケイちゃん、頑張って。
Good luck, Kei-chan.
ケイちゃん、頑張れ。
Oh my god. Do your best, Kei-chan.
ケイちゃん、しっかり。
Keep going, Kei-chan.
Oh, God. I stared back at Rena as she walked forward with a blank expression. Even though Mion was lying dead under the tarp, it felt like she was encouraging me. How selfish of me, only finding my courage after a dead person encouraged me. Even though Rena and I were actually the ones who killed Mion, my ears were ringing. It couldn't be helped. I had no choice. I started feeling sick. I didn't want to find myself in a situation where I needed that concealed hatchet. And I didn't want Ren to have an opportunity to use her concealed knife. Honestly, I didn't want to kill anyone else. I want to have lots of friends, to cry and laugh together with all my living friends. What are you thinking? Don't lose heart. You swore an oath! I sighed and shook my head. The time for those sweet dreams is already past. Open your eyes, Keiichi Maibara! That era of playing around and having a pleasant time with your perfect group of friends is already a thing of the past. Kill before being killed. Otherwise, you'll get killed. That's all there is to it. As I stared at Rena's slender figure, my heart slowly filled with wretched, murderous intent. Once again, the voice of the crickets filled my ears. Shut up. Leave me alone. The more I wished for their silence, the louder the crickets cried out, like they were trying to criticize me. We managed to travel from the garbage mountain to the Hojo house without running into anyone. The surrounding area was completely swallowed by the dusk. Everything around me looked gray. I was a bit surprised to notice that the kitchen window was still broken. That's no good. It'll be problematic if the neighbors start looking around and stumble upon the corpses. I'll have to fix that window as soon as possible. Keiichi, do you even know how to fix a goddamn window?
平気だよ、ケイチ君。
Don't worry, Keiichi-kun.
Rena reached into her pocket and pulled out the key.
あ、これ
Oh, this?
昨日ここに来た時に見つけて持って帰っておいたの。
I found it when we were here yesterday, so I brought it home with me.
Rena slid the key into the keyhole. Clink. Then the door opened like normal.
窓のことは気にしないでも平気だよ。
Don't worry about the window.
レナにいい考えがあるから。
Rena has a plan.
Because Rena is so smart. For her own good. She's too smart for her own good, honestly. In some ways, like, I just love how intelligent Rena is. Like, in the beginning of the story, like, you would never expect her to be so calculating. Like, she is just an absolute champ, but my god, does she have so many issues, just like almost everyone in Higurashi. Baby girl. Rena's expression as we entered the house indicated that she could see right through my thoughts. I hesitated for a moment to decide if I should take my shoes off, but I chose to leave them on and followed her inside. The inside smelled as bad as ever. Rena looked eerily dignified, while she calmly looked back at me and surveyed the area.
みーちゃん、ここに川の字に寝かせてあげようよ。
Let's set Michan down right here, next to this picture of a river kanji.
I was confused when I heard that, but I quickly responded.
ああ、そうだな。
Right. I did my best to enunciate every word in my typical intonation to avoid agitating her.
どうしたのかな、ケイチ君。
What's wrong, Keiichi-kun?
あ、いや、
Oh, nothing.
俺、ミオンを取ってくるよ。
I'll go get Mion. I said that in a light tone, like I was talking about carrying in the luggage. Then I went back to the cart to get Mion. Mion felt like a heavy slab of meat as I carried her on my back. Ugh. Can you even imagine how that must feel for Keiichi? I fiddled with the hatchet to keep it securely inside the tarp as I struggled to walk forward. Unfortunately, the hatchet was far too big to keep it hidden. It can't be helped. If it becomes necessary, I'll have no choice but to keep it going. It's not such a big deal. Just to be safe, I adjusted the tarp on the side facing Rena. Slam. Something slipped, and a kitchen knife fell to the ground. I gently picked up the knife. Does that mean Rena isn't carrying the knife? No, Keiichi, she probably got another one from her own kitchen. The knife that killed Mion was still soaked in blood. A single long strand of Mion's hair was stuck to that blood. It bothered me, so I tried to peel Mion's hair off, but the hair was so firmly caked into the blood that I couldn't get it off. Well, whatever. I concealed the kitchen knife in my left hand and made my way inside the house once again. When I came back inside, Rena was in the kitchen lighting the stove.
おかえり。
Welcome back.
ずいぶん遅かったね。
Took you a while, didn't it?
ああ、重くて手間取っちゃってさ。
Yeah, it was heavy and kind of a pain. I answered nonchalantly, then set Mion down between Satoko and Shion. I couldn't bear to see these three girls reduced to mere objects, so I found a sheet in the closet and laid it on top of them. For a moment, it looked like a group of girls having a sleepover.
おやすみ。
Good night.
もう楽にしていいんだぞ。
You can rest easy now. I held my hands together in a prayer. Mion, it looks like you're all having pleasant dreams together. I hope everyone is having fun and doing club activities together, living our peaceful everyday life in some other world. That is my only wish. Oh, Keiichi. He has a tiny little bit of reading Steiner. Right here, doesn't he? Oh God, Keiichi, it's true. Oh God. Sentimental feelings rushed through me, and tears began streaming out. Though they looked like they were only sleeping, in truth the three of them were dead. They could move no longer.
レナ、
Rena. She took a pile of letters out of the mailbox and carried them into the kitchen earlier. She held a stack of them together over the stove.
ああ、これ
Oh, this?
焼くの。この家ごと。
I'm burning the house down.
Oh, for the love of God.
だってみんなをこのまま置き去らしにできないでしょ。
I suppose that makes the most sense. Oh, how ruthlessly calculating. Oh, God.
After all, we can't leave everyone this way, can we?
あ、うん。
Yeah,
それもそうだな。
that's true. The calm tone in Rena's voice sent a chill through me. I was struck by the feeling that I was all on my own, which might actually be advantageous given the current situation. But even so, these are our friends, right?
それはね、
This.
Oh, God.
全部圭一くんのせいなんだよ。
Oh, for the love of God!
All of this is for you, Keiichi-kun.
A deep voice. Oh, it was a deeper voice. All of this is for you, Keiichi-kun. A deep voice that I could scarcely believe belonged to Rena came from the kitchen. The voice was so eerie that I couldn't bring myself to turn around and look back at the source.
レナだって圭一くんみたいに甘っちょろい涙を流しながらみんなの死を悼みたいよ。
Just like Keiichi-kun, Rena needs to share tears to mourn everyone's deaths.
レナだって本当はこんなこと望んでなかったんだよ。
Was this really what Rena wanted?
鉄平を殺そうって思ったのはそうすれば聡子ちゃんがまた学校に来て平穏な毎日を取り戻せると思ったからだよ。
I thought that killing Tepe would allow Satoko to come to school again, and then we'd be able to regain our peaceful everyday life. I felt the same way, but I decided to hold my tongue. Rena quickly lowered a letter toward the stove. She did so in a careful, mechanical motion, very precisely. The letter smoldered and crackled on the stove. Then Rena picked up another letter with one hand and held it over the stove.
内緒だよって言ったのに圭一くんしーちゃんに話しちゃったよね。
Oh God, here we go! I told you to keep it secret. But you talked to Shi-chan, didn't you?
それが 終わりの始まりだったんだと思う。
I think that was the beginning of the end.
いろんな間違いの始まりの場所っていうのかな。
There were several mistakes along the way. But don't you think that's where it all started? Rena glared at me with the flames of the stove flickering in her eyes. I thought that Rena was just muttering to vent her hard feelings. For the next moment,
わかるかな、ケイチくん。
Do you understand, Keiichi-kun?
ケイチくんがしーちゃんに話しちゃったから、しーちゃんは巻き込まれた。
Because once you told Shi-chan, she became involved.
さとこちゃんを預かっていたから、しーちゃんは死んだ。
Shi-chan died because she was taking care of Satoko-chan.
しーちゃんが死んだから、みーちゃんも死んだ。
And Shi-chan's death led to Mi-chan's death.
さとこちゃんは結局助けられなくて死んだ。
In the end, we couldn't help Satoko-chan. She died too.
リカちゃんを巻き込んだから。
Because you got Rika-chan involved.
つまり悪い出来事には全部ちゃんとした原因があるんだね。
In other words, every unfortunate event had a clear cause.
すまない。
I'm sorry. I immediately responded apologetically. But once I heard Rika-chan's name, I was struck with a sense that something seemed wrong. How did Rena know about that?
謝らなくていいよ。
You don't need to apologize.
ケイチくんだって仕方なかったんだもん。
Keiichi-kun, it couldn't be helped. Right?
気にしないでいいよ。
So don't worry about it.
ケイチくんはちっとも悪くない。
You're not a bad person, Keiichi-kun.
これは運命だったんだよ。
This was fate.
生まれた時から決まっている。どうしようもない運命なの。
This was our destiny. Predetermined from the moment we were born.
Rena picked up a half-burned letter from the stove and dropped it. A nasty smell rose up, irritating my nose. Rena, stop playing with the fire. If you're going to burn it, do it quickly. Otherwise that smell will drift into the surrounding area. I thought that to myself as I carefully watched Rena's hands, but for some reason I couldn't bring myself to say anything. When Rena grew tired of playing with the letters, she grabbed a jug of vegetable oil from the cupboard under the stove. She poured a thin line in a circle around the stovetop.
これはね、お社様のたたりなの。
This is Yoshida-sama's curse.
Rena had a cold-hearted smile on her face, the legs of which I had never seen before. What's going on? Why is Rena smiling at a time like this? Don't you get it, Keiichi? It looks like she's gonna kill everybody here. 'Cause she's gone insane. Unlike the 3 dead girls sleeping like angels in the back room, the Rena standing in front of me looked like a cruel demon.
これはレナに与えられた罰なの。
Yep, she's gonna try to commit suicide with everybody here.
This is Rena's punishment
これはお社様のお怒りなの。
for angering Yoshida-sama.
レナがケイチ君に頼ったりしたからみんな死んだんだ。
Everyone died because Rena depended on Keiichi-kun.
レナがケイチ君に甘えちゃったからお社様はケイチ君の体を使ってレナを叱っているんだよ。
God damn this Hinamizawa bullshit! Seriously! Oh, God.
And when Rena took advantage of Keiichi-kun, Yoshida-sama used Keiichi-kun's body to punish Rena.
おい、レナ、大丈夫か？
Hey, Rena, are you alright?
どうしたんだよ、急に。
What's the matter all of a sudden?
どうしてそんなに慌てているのかな。
Why are you suddenly getting so worked up? Worked up?
レナは正気だよ。
Do you think Rena has gone mad?
今度は失敗しない。
I won't make any mistakes this time.
レナはどんなことがあっても負けないの。
No matter what happens, Rena won't give in.
さっきケイチ君が 運命なんて言葉を口にした時、レナは気がついたの。
When you used the word destiny a while back, Rena noticed.
ケイチ君なんて初めから信じちゃいけなかったんだって。
Keiichi-kun, in the beginning you never believed that.
そもそもの間違いはケイチ君を頼りにしちゃったからだったんだって気がついたの。
That's when I realized my first mistake was relying on you.
でももう分かっちゃったから大丈夫だよ。
This is just a nightmare. This is like the biggest tragedy. My God. Like, especially from Rena's point of view right here. This has to be the lowest she's ever been. Oh, God.
But I've already come to understand that, so it'll be okay.
今度こそうまくやれる。
Oh, God, baby girl. God damn it!
Next time I'll be able to do it.
おいレナ、
Hey, Rena.
うまくやるって何をやるつもりだよ。
Keiichi, are you a fucking moron? Seriously. What does it look like she's doing? She's gonna kill both of you in a suicide. To try to atone for all these murders. Hey, Rena, what do you mean? What are you going to do? Anxiety steadily piled up inside my chest. Rena lit the stove. The oil around the stove ignited, and then the flames soared up. All the oil around the stove lit up in a flash, and the entire kitchen was covered in flames in an instant.
レナはね、もう負けないの。
Rena will not give in.
お社様でも何でもレナの幸せを壊すものは許さない。
Okay, she might be totally insane at this point, but that is a badass line. I swear, if this was me before reading Higurashi, that would be a line I would have 100% agreed with.
Rena will never forgive Oyashiro-sama or anyone else who tries to destroy our happiness.
だからレナは戦うの。
So Rena will keep fighting.
なくなったらもう一度積み上げるんだ。
If I run astray once more, things will only pile up.
壊されても壊されてもレナ
Damn.
は戦って幸せをつかみ取るの。
That is an iconic and badass Rena line right there. Seriously. That line is just... That is so Rena. That line. My God. Like, seriously, I think that line just gets right to the core of who Rena is.
Even if it's destroyed again and again, Rena will keep fighting to grab hold of that happiness.
Seeing the passion in Rena's eyes made me want to run away. Rena had gone crazy. Rena was so exhausted with everything that's happened that it drove her to the brink of insanity. I'd say she's well beyond the brink right now, Keiichi. I need to get out of this house. Rena has finally gone mad.
レナ、もう帰ろう。
Rena, let's get home already.
ひとまずここを出るんだ。
Let's get out of here for now.
お前疲れてるんだよ。
You look like you need some rest.
それだけなんだ。
That's all.
ただそれだけのことなんだよ。
That's all there is to it.
何言ってるの？
What are you talking about?
レナは疲れてなんかいないよ。
Rena isn't tired at all.
それにどんなに疲れてたって頑張らなくちゃね。
Besides, even if you're feeling tired, you still have to work hard.
レナはもう人に頼ったりしない。
Rena will not depend on others any longer.
負けたり泣いたり逃げたりしない。
My God, the context of this speech. Seriously, it's incredible that if you could read parts of this speech in another context, it would be considered almost like a heroic thing, but based on what she's doing at the current moment, it feels like this is just like her lowest point right now. My God.
Never give up, never cry, and never run away.
あんなに楽しかった毎日を一度は手に入れたんだ。
We had such fun everyday lives at one point.
もう一度絶対に手に入れる。
So I'll definitely get those back.
どんなことをしてでも レナは幸せになる。
Whatever it takes to secure Rena's happiness!
お社様なんかに邪魔されてたまるか。
I won't let Oyashiro-sama get in my way! My god. Rena slowly stepped forward from the flames with a slight smile on her face. Damn! I'm sorry, but that is a badass line. Even though she's totally gone completely beyond off the edge here, that was a badass line. As though the heat didn't faze her at all.
レナ、もう分かった。
Rena, I understand.
分かったから。
I already know.
ケイチ君、心配いらないってば。
Keiichi-kun, there's no need to worry.
レナは大丈夫だよ。
Rena will be alright.
レナは絶対に死なないし。
Rena absolutely will not die.
You're not Daenerys Targaryen, Rena. The fire will kill you.
この手でもう一度幸せをつかむまでは絶対に死なない。
Seriously, if you ever needed any kind of proof, Rena was just an undisputable badass. It's these lines here. My god.
I can't die until I retake my happiness with my own two hands.
お社様になんか邪魔させない。
I won't let Oyashiro-sama get in the way!
今度はレナがみんなを救い出してあげる番なんだからね。
Next time, Rena will be able to help everyone. This is bad. Everything became clear to me. Even if I tried talking to Rena, there was no way it could get through. It would get through to her. It's like the person before me was another being, wearing Rena's face as a mask. I wasn't sure what to do, but I understood that she was dangerous. Run away. I have to run away. I rushed off toward the entrance. But the moment I took a step, Rena started to move.
ケイチ君、
Keiichi-kun,
Rena jumped straight towards my chest. Taken off guard by her surprisingly gentle touch, I quickly grabbed Rena's slender body with both my hands.
ケイチ君、
Keiichi-kun,
やっと捕まえた。
Holy fuck! My god!
at last you've caught me.
一緒に帰ろうぜ。
Whoa! Let's go. Together. I spoke gently while holding her tight with both my hands. My god! This arc! Please let my thoughts get through to her. We could recruit new club members at school and begin our happy days that way, right? And you could lead the club this time, Rena. Right, Rena? I tightly embraced Rena's frail body with both my arms. This was the first time in my life I'd ever hugged a girl so tight. Oh god. And of course there's a CG for it. At first, my body seemed to go numb. Then slowly a warmth spread through my stomach like I was being gouged with a burning torch.
何言ってるのかな、かな。
What are you talking about? Talking about?
レナはもうケイチ君のこと全然信じてないんだよ。
Did you realize Rena has already stopped trusting Keiichi-kun?
何か勘違いしちゃったのかな、かな。
I guess he misunderstood. Misunderstood!
My body was burning up, but it wasn't just from the heat of the flame-soaked room. The heat was pouring out of my stomach. When I touched it with my hand, I felt an odd sensation along my palm. There was something sticking into my stomach.
ケイチ君が持っていた包丁だよ。
It's the kitchen knife you brought, Keiichi-kun.
さっきみーちゃんを刺したやつだね。
The steam one that stabbed Mion earlier.
それは。
That's... You're wrong, Rena. You're the one who brought that knife.
レナを殺そうとしてたんでしょ。
You were planning to kill Rena, weren't you?
レナ、ちゃんと知ってるよ。
If Rena knew all about that.
リアカーにその包丁しっかり積んでたよね。
You put that kitchen knife in the car, didn't you?
違う。
You're wrong! When I tried speaking, it felt like even more blood came flowing out of my stomach.
分かってないよね、ケイチ君。
I don't understand, Keiichi-kun.
レナはもうケイチ君は信じないって言ったんだよ。
Didn't Rena already say that she didn't trust you?
運命なんて信じない。
I don't believe in fate.
お社様も怖くない。
And I'm not afraid of Oyashiro-sama.
レナはこの手でもう一度幸せをつかむの。
Rena will grab hold for happiness again, using her own 2 hands!
それが私の願いだよ。
That's my only wish!
Rena's terrifying smile made me lose all the strength in my body. What was this all for, Rena? What were you trying to do? I pulled out the knife lodged in my stomach and tossed it away. It was the knife from this house, the same knife that killed Shion and Satoko and took Mion's life, and in the end it stabbed me too. My consciousness was quickly fading.
ケイチ君はお社様から命令されただけなんだよね。
Keiichi-kun, you were just carrying out Oyashiro-sama's orders, weren't you?
レナを殺そうとしたのはお社様に操られていたからなんだよね。
You were only trying to kill Rena because you were manipulated by Oyashiro-sama, right?
大丈夫。レナはちゃんとわかってるよ。
It's alright. Rena understands.
ケイチ君は本当はそんなひどいことするような人じゃないもんね。
Rena, seriously. Even when she's batshit insane, she is a motherfucking queen. My god.
Honestly, Keiichi-kun, you're not a bad person.
わかってる。
I understand that.
わかってるから大丈夫だよ。
I understand, so it'll be alright.
レナはケイチ君をお社様から助けてあげたんだよ。
Oyashiro-sama is the one who gave Keiichi-kun
その包丁でね。
the kitchen knife.
I had no idea what Rena was talking about. I was being manipulated by Oyashiro-sama, receiving help on the verge of death. Rena, what are you talking about? You're the one who's acting strange.
でもレナはちょっぴり傷ついたんだ
Oh
よ。
my god.
But still, Rena was a little hurt, you know?
だってケイチ君レナのことその包丁で殺そうとしてたんだもん。
Because Keiichi-kun was planning to kill Rena with that knife.
レナは最後までケイチ君のことを大切な友達だと思っていたの。
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Up until the end, Rena thought that Keiichi-kun was a precious friend.
かわいそうなケイチ君のこと助けてあげようと思っていたのに。
I was thinking of helping poor Keiichi-kun.
Ugh. That can't be. Rena still thought of me as a precious friend.
さよなら
Oh
ケイ
god.
チ君。
Farewell, Keiichi-kun.
レナに謝ってもいいよ。
You can apologize if you'd like.
Rena, if I apologize, will you forgive me? You're wrong, Rena. I'm not a bad person. I wasn't doing anything bad. I swear you're wrong. It's just a terrible misunderstanding, Rena.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry. Every time I spoke, I could feel an unsettling sensation flowing out of my stomach, but I couldn't stop apologizing. If Rena wants me to apologize, I'll do it as much as I can. If that's what it takes to take back our everyday happiness. Oh my god.
"ダメ。謝っても無駄だから。
It's no good. Even if you apologize, it's pointless.
無駄だから
It's all useless!
I heard the sound of the front door opening and closing. Then the room got quiet. At that point, I could only hear the vague sounds of the crackling fire in the burning room. I'm going to die. Right here. Things get quieter on the verge of death. Cold. So cold. Hey, Mion. I guess this is what death feels like. Satoko. Shion. Rika-chan. Rena. My God. I was thinking the exact same thing. Oh wait, that's got it. This whole chapter seemed like there were so many Umineko allusions in that chapter. Seriously, was it just me, or did that really seem very Umineko? Oh, there's more. There's a red truth here. I could hear the sound of the flames. Looking back, the Hojo house was covered in tall flames that set it apart from the dense forest backdrop. That's fine. This is Rena talking. That was my past burning up behind me. My happy days and Naomi's outfit were up in flames. In other words, this was a resetting ceremony. Starting now, Ren and Ryugu would have to rise up and start over again. I sat down on my bike. Keiichi-kun's bike can stay where it is. He'll never ride it again. There's no point in trying to hide it. More importantly, I still have something I need to do. Something I absolutely must do in order to reclaim my happiness.
Sayonara, Keiichi-kun.
Farewell, Keiichi-kun.
Sayonara, Mi-chan, Shi-chan, Satoko-chan.
Farewell, Mi-chan, Shi-chan, Satoko-chan.
さよなら。でも、私はまだ負けない。終われないから。
Farewell, but I won't give in. It can't end like this.
The phrasing may be different, OA, but like the whole theme of the chapter, like I was getting so many vibes of my favorite Umineko couple in that chapter. I opted to head in the direction away from my home. I steadily made my way up the hill. The goal was to reach higher ground. A hilltop with a nice view would be ideal for surveying the state of the village. I'll have to visit the Furude Shrine once more. I was neither excited nor tense as I imagined what I was about to do. Rika-chan, I'm heading for you now. Sorry if I'm late. I'll wait patiently for Rena, okay? I'll help you too, Rika-chan. I'll set you free from Oyashiro-sama right away. The hatchet Keiichi-kun brought here was lying under the tarp in the cart. I wrapped the hatchet in the tarp and then sat it in the basket of my bike. After holding the hatchet in the tarp, I couldn't help but chuckle.
ナタなんて大げさな武器。ケイイチ君には不似合いだよ。
This hatchet is such a huge weapon, Keiichi-kun. It doesn't suit you at all.
I pedaled my bike while fighting the urge to laugh. I reached out to adjust the tarp while still pedaling, hoping to avoid letting anyone see the hatchet in the basket. For some reason, I couldn't help but enjoy myself while pedaling my bike. Unable to hold it any longer, I began to laugh on my own. I might be everyone's savior. I'm rescuing everyone from endlessly enduring the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Rena, I really wish you would know that. Even if everybody dies right now, it's just gonna reset again in the next timeline.
リカちゃんも。
Rika-chan,
今レナが助けてあげるからね。
Rena is going to save you right now.
I held down the tarp to keep the hatchet secure, while riding my bike as fast as possible. I encountered an unexpected sight at the shrine parking lot. Dozens of police cars were parked there with the lights flashing. Officers in uniform were running back and forth. It was a completely different scene compared to my visit this afternoon. Right, I visited here earlier in the afternoon to take care of Rika-chan. Rika-chan knew all our secrets. The way she manipulated people with her innocent face and sweet words, and occasionally talked down to us with that know-it-all look on her face. Honestly, the girl named Rika-chan was far stronger than she led people to believe. It seemed like she was able to see through everything. I planned to kill Rika-chan after school, when she was alone at home. I hid under the stone steps and waited for her to come home, but Rika-chan was far too capable for that. While Rika-chan was climbing the steps, she leaned over the rail and called out to me.
レナ、こんなところで何をしてるのですか？
Rena, what are you doing in a place like that?
リカちゃんに用があったんだ。
I came to see you, Rika-chan.
I lied to her right off the bat.
西宮殿に連れて行ってくれるかな。
Can you take me to the ritual storehouse?
どうしても隠したいものがあるから。
There's something I want to hide at all costs.
あそこなら誰にも見つからずに隠すことができるでしょう。
If I hide it there, then there's no way anyone will ever be able to find it, right?
It was incredibly suspicious. A sudden request with no context. And even if Rika-chan got cautious and tried to run away, my next move was already decided. But no, the result was entirely different. Rika-chan made no effort to resist or flee. She simply nodded and turned her back, then began to speak.
同じことなのです。
It's all the same.
ここでレナが僕を殺しても殺さなくても結果は同じことなのです。
Whether you try to kill me here or there, the result will be exactly the same.
Rika wore an expression suggesting she had given up on everything, while walking up to the shrine grounds and unlocking the door to the ritual storehouse. I wasn't sure if I was more surprised or disappointed. Hello, odd-year-old. Welcome to the stream. Did she really think the ritual storehouse was such a trivial matter? No, Rika-chan should know it all too well. She probably knows everything about it.
レナがこれからしようとしていることもしてもしなくても同じことなのです。
Rena, whether you do it or not, the result will be exactly the same.
すべては決まっている通りにしかならないのです。
Rika knows exactly what Rena is trying to do.
Everything has already been decided. It can't be helped.
I was surprised by how quickly Rika-chan's words caused my face to tense up.
リカちゃんもそれが運命だっていうのかな。
You too, Rika-chan? You think it's all due to fate?
そうです。
That's right.
全部初めから決まっていることなのです。
Right from the beginning, everything was already decided.
Rika-chan said it again. I could feel the urge to kill bubbling up inside me. Destiny. If I was forced to live at the mercy of such a concept, there would be no reason to go on living. My God! I am baffled as to... Although Rena has gone completely insane, she is getting some badass lines right here. I'm going to fight. I'm going to take back my happiness with my own hands. Seriously, Rena and Shion have so much in common. It's like Shion, when she met Rena the few times in the canon arcs, like, she pretty much surmised that Rena was a lot like her. And in Matsuribayashi, they had that heart-to-heart moment that was so great, because I think Rena and Shion would get along almost better than Rena and Mion would, because they just think so much alike in so many ways. I think Rena is more mature than Shion, but seriously, I think I would kill for a slice of life with Rena and Shion, just them hanging out in like just going shopping and doing some shit like that. Because honestly, as I said before in my previous Let's Plays, I would love to go out shopping for a day with Shion and Rena. Like, that would just be... I think that would be one of the most fun things ever. The next moment, I heard a voice. Maybe people are starting to show up at the town hall for a meeting? So I took the key from Rika-chan's hand, locked her in the ritual storehouse, and left the area. Rika-chan didn't fight it at all. Accepting fate means admitting defeat. I'll come to kill you later, so please wait a little longer, Rika-chan. God damn it, Rena, murder isn't the answer here. I gently walked down the stone steps toward the parking lot where I left my bike earlier. I could hear an uncountably large number of deep, hoarse voices. Is this some sort of prayer? There were so many people near the steps, it seemed like every elderly person in the village was gathered here. They were all rubbing their hands together, praying in the direction of the shrine.
By the grace of the great god Oyashiro-sama, we bow to you. Bestow your blessing on all of us beneath you.
Excuse me?
I tried to gently speak to the old woman in front, but she was so intently focused on her prayers that my voice didn't seem to reach her ears.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
I tried then calling out to the old woman next to her. The older woman looked back at me with frustration and rage for having interrupted her prayer. I quickly turned and looked away.
すみません。
Pardon me?
何かあったんですか？
What's going on?
I don't know.
The old man ran off and disappeared into the crowd. That old man seemed unusually uncooperative. What did I do? Why do you look at me with eyes like that? I found an old man sitting quietly a few steps away and called out to him in a soft voice.
何があったんですか？
Excuse me? Do you know what's going on?
It was the curse. The curse struck right here.
Huh? Oh, crap.
The elderly people turned to look at me.
Rika-sama fell victim to Oyashiro-sama's anger.
It's over for us.
Well, that is true.
Hinamizawa is finished.
何を言ってるんですか？
What are you talking about?
Suddenly, an old woman standing nearby stretched out her wrinkly hand. Then she grabbed me by the wrist.
No!
I immediately cried out. A sharp pain quickly coursed through my wrist. Let me go! The elderly people nearly all turned back towards me at once, staring at me with a stone-cold look in their eyes.
You can see it with your own eyes.
If this isn't Oyashiro-sama's anger, then what is it?
And they already got to Rika. God damn it.
She was found on the shrine grounds in front of the offering box, dead. Her stomach was sliced wide open. It has to be the curse.
Rika-chan was dead, and her stomach was sliced open. That can't be true, because Rika-chan should still be locked in the ritual storehouse.
It's Oyashiro-sama's curse.
Oyashiro-sama's.
Oyashiro-sama's.
Curse. My neck ached. The odor drifting around the vicinity was reminiscent of the scent of death. An old woman rubbing beads near her heart gradually raised her head. Then she slowly lifted her index finger to point. Her wrinkly index finger stopped directly aimed at my chest. Holy fuck!
お社様のたたり。
Oyashiro-sama's curse.
It was like some creepy divination ritual. Oh wait, I think that Hanyu isn't mad because I think that's the role that she chose for herself, remember? Hanyu chose that role for herself, to be someone to be blamed, because she believed that there has to be someone to be blamed to take on all the sin. So I don't think Hanyu would be mad because that's the role that she chose for herself. It was like some creepy divination ritual.
もうやめて。
Enough. Stop it!
I tried to shake off the hand of the old woman who grabbed me. I need to get out of here right away. However, the old woman continued tightly clenching my wrist.
離して。離してってば。
I vigorously swung my arms back and forth. I shook them with enough force to knock the old woman down to the ground. I reached my head out to help the old woman, but then stopped myself. Oh, it's Kumagai. On the far side of the steps, I noticed a man who wasn't from around here staring intently at me. Did he need something from me? The way he glared at me was intimidating, and after being flustered for a moment, I noticed. He was staring at something red. Keiichi-kun's blood was all over the front of my dress. God damn it, Rena! When I stabbed Keiichi-kun with the kitchen knife in Satoko-chan's house, I did feel a warm, sticky sensation on my chest. Damn it, why didn't I notice it any sooner? I casually crossed my arms in front of my chest in an effort to conceal the blood. Anyway, I'm already running late. I suddenly started to feel uncomfortable about all the blood stuck to my dress. How many people have already seen the traces of Keiichi-kun's blood on me? That old lady was pointing right at the blood. Just then I noticed the man in the distance holding a hand to his ear and moving his lips.
I've located Rena Ryugu.
Located Rena Ryugu. I could hear a response come in through their earphone. An outsider working for some organized group. No doubt about it, that man was a plainclothes police officer.
Roger.
Just then, the detective and I made contact. He casually looked up to the sky to avert his gaze. That gesture all but confirmed he was monitoring me. Why? How did he know my name and face? What did he say Roger about? Was he speaking to prefectural police headquarters? Even if he started getting suspicious when he saw the blood, it didn't add up. It was weird that he knew my name. Extremely weird. I was filled with the unpleasant feeling that I was taking one step forward, 2 steps back. My nervous breakdown was partially alleviated when the voices of the elderly people reached my ears.
I never would have guessed that the curse would target Rika-chama.
Enduring the curse of Oyashiro-sama all on her own. I thought it was pathetic of the old folks to speak about it so callously. It seemed like the elderly people were quickly growing less afraid of Oyashiro-sama. Because if the curse targeted Rika-chan, it meant that they escaped harm themselves. They were egotistically regarding Rika-chan's death as a sign of their own safety. Only the wisdom of the elderly could allow them to live with such a vile worldview. Perhaps that's necessary in order to endure unmanageable situations. A skill necessary to go on living. But that way of thinking ultimately won't solve anything. What if that foul behavior was the source of Ueshiro-sama's anger and the true cause of the curse? Maybe Ueshiro-sama was killing all the people involved in order to punish them for something they shouldn't have done. If that's the case, I'll definitely be the next target for killing Teppei Hojo, Michan, and Keiichi-kun. Rena Ryugu is a murderer. I jumped to my feet and took off running. My blood-soaked skirt fluttered about. I pushed aside all the elderly people standing in my way, then stopped up on my bike. In the corner of my vision, I could see the plainclothes police officer's face turn bright red as he watched my movements. I couldn't care less. I won't allow the police to catch me. Yoshiro-sama will kill anyone else that gets involved. Once again, I'll have to rise up and grab hold of my happiness. I took off on my bike at full speed. I raced to the forest road when the sun had already set. Where the sun had already set. It was dark, so I couldn't see the road very well. I might topple over if I simply hit a pebble. But even so, I had to run away. I had to get out of there. I had to escape. A siren rang out behind my back. The flashing red lights of a patrol car lit the dark forest road. I turned down a single-lane road that intersected the forest road. If I continue in this direction, I'll end up in Okonomiya. I might be able to escape if I disappear in the crowd into the city. However, even if I pedal my bike at full speed, there's no way I can outrun a car in this narrow road. What should I do? My foot managed to slip off the pedal. Oh, there's a typo here. Slip off the pedal, not of the pedal, in my confusion. And the bike started to slow down. Yep, I remember that, Oe. I remember that about Teramawashi. I'm gonna piggyback that onto the end of this video.
Ryugu Rena, please stop and submit to questioning.
I heard a strong voice calling out to me over the loudspeaker. It was a familiar voice.
This is Uishi from the Okonomiya station. Please stop. A search warrant has been issued under your name. I repeat, please stop. Reina Ryugu!
He ordered me to stop, but I already resigned myself to never give up. So I began pedaling my bike at full speed once again. I pulled back on the handlebars to make a sharp turn toward the forest at full speed. My bike jostled on the rugged terrain, but even so, this was better than running on foot. I was better off heading into the forest, where the patrol car couldn't follow. Right away, the path was blocked by tree roots and large stones that prevented me from riding my bike forward. That's all right, I expected as much. I tossed my bike aside along the bumpy trail. Then I caught a glance at the hatchet wrapped in the tarp of the basket in my bike. I picked it up without hesitation. This is better than being unarmed. I ran and ran and ran. I sprinted through the dimly lit forest as fast as I could manage. I couldn't tell left from right or east from west. I couldn't hear anything except the sound of my own labored breath and the leaves crunching underfoot. My legs got drenched in water up to my ankles as I charged through a stream. Is that the river flowing from Onagafuchi Swamp? If so, I haven't made it very far. How much farther is it to Okonomiya? I pushed myself to run even faster, but my feet got tangled. My calves were bulging from the fatigue, but wasting any time worrying about that would prove fatal. So I kept pumping my legs left and right, running like I was about to fall over. How far did I run? Before I realized it, the surrounding area was completely silent. I couldn't hear the siren of the patrol car any longer. Maybe the patrol car didn't notice me taking that sharp turn a little while ago. Even so, I can't get careless. I need to keep running until nobody can possibly follow. I was so exhausted that I wanted to drop the hatchet I was holding. This area looks somehow familiar. Is it where they buried Teppei? That's it. Yep. This looks like the forest where we chased down and killed Teppei Hojo. He was trying to flee, so I ran after him and swung my hatchet. I was the pursuer on that day, but today I'm the one on the run.
I'm tired.
I was suddenly struck by a bout of fatigue. I stopped running and walked 2 or 3 steps before losing all energy and collapsing on the spot. Chasing, running, killing, being killed, changing the subject and object of those activities didn't alter the meaning much. This was all decided from the start. Rena, this is your destiny. The words Rika-chan and Keiichi-kun used earlier came back to me.
そっか。
I see.
そうだよね。
That's right.
悪あがきなんて無意味だよね。
There's no point in stressing about it.
レナ、もう疲れちゃった。
Rana is so exhausted.
ちょっとだけ目を閉じてもいいかな。
Would it be okay to close my eyes for just a moment?
Nobody was there, but I insisted on talking anyway. It's what I'm doing right now, Rena. Of course, people far away can hear me. That wasn't unusual. I've been living my life that way for a long time. There's nothing special about today. I'm lonely and enjoy being with other people, but I'm unbelievably terrified of needing to depend on others. That's not limited to today. My God, Rena, she is a gigantic mood. So talk to the other person living inside of me. A courageous person who always encourages me to do my best. Oh my God, baby girl! By talking it out, I'm able to gradually calm myself and return to being the cheerful, stupid Rena while I'm around everyone else. That's right, everyone is already gone. Oh my god, baby girl. So there's no need to be stupid and cheerful anymore. I'm so tired. I tilted my head back. The massive moon was quietly looking down at me through the overgrown trees. A pleasant breeze blew up along my side.
さーて、ケイイチさんはどこでございましょう。
Where could Keiichi-san be?
絶対に見つけ出してみせますことよ。
I'm definitely going to find you.
I heard a familiar voice.
どんなにお逃げになっても、私に目をつけられたらおしまいですわよ。
No matter where you run, these eyes will find you.
バカ来るな
Moron, you'll never find me!
I suddenly rose to my feet.
ケイイチくん、
Keiichi-kun.
さとこちゃん、
Satoko-chan.
まさか
No way.
二人とも生きてたの？
Two of them. Both alive.
I looked around the area, but I was just surrounded by a dark forest, with the occasional wind scattering the leaves. Was that a hallucination?
ばっかで
You idiot.
ケイちゃん逃げる方向が間違ってるよ
Kei-chan, if you're going the wrong direction if you're trying to get away.
そっち行ったらダメだって
Heading that direction is useless.
鬼ごっこってのは体力勝負じゃなくてここ
The way we play tag here, it's not a contest of strength. Not here.
知力勝負なの
It's a contest of wits.
さとこ、
Satoko?
こっちなのですよ。
Come this way.
絶対に逃がしませんことよ。
You can't possibly escape.
向きになったさとこは動きが読みやすいですね
Satoko, your movements are so easy to predict when you're upset. This is probably a dream. I must still be sleeping in that forest. Everyone can have fun club activities together inside Rena's dreams. Hey, let Rena join too. I came all this way to see you also let Rena play tag too. Huh? I was suddenly overcome with the urge to cry, but why? My heart was racing and my chest tightened. It hurt. I wanted to go back. I want things to go back to the way they were. I want to go back to those days when we had fun club activities every day. I want to go back to see Mion and Keiichi-kun.
リュウグレイナはこの辺りに潜んでいるはずです。
Oh boy. Who is this? Rena and Yugu should be hiding in this area.
総力上げて探せ。
Is this Okanogi? Is this Okanogi? Oh my god. Could this be Okanogi?
Search as hard as you can.
草の根分けても絶対に探し出せ。
Leave no stone unturned. We'll definitely find her.
Huh? Whose voice is that? Rika-chan? Satoko-chan? Mi-chan? Shi-chan? Keiichi-kun? Then I opened my eyes. I'd quickly fallen asleep, leaning against a big tree. My cheeks were soaked. Was I crying in my dream? What did I see?
発見次第射殺。
Yep, that's definitely the mountain dogs. Mountain hounds.
If you find her, shoot to kill.
了解。
Roger.
That imposing voice sent a chill down my spine. It seemed like there were a lot of them. I could hear several voices and a lot of footsteps, and I heard intermittent mechanical sounds from their communications equipment. Where am I? Which way should I run? I walked softly, doing my best not to make a sound. I could see a bright light. There were a bunch of lights up ahead that looked like the schoolyard. I might be able to reach the mountains from there. I clicked my tongue. Even though I was heading towards Okonomiya, I must have gotten turned around and ended up at the school. There were a lot of people coming and going at the schoolyard. I could see several trucks and vans and a bunch of strange people that looked like armed guards wandering around the schoolyard. A large number of unfamiliar people were hanging around the school. What the hell is going on?
いたぞ。
Right here.
Oh my god. Bang, bang. I heard a dry sound the same moment a dazzlingly bright light was pointed at me. A gunshot? That was the first time in my life I heard an actual gunshot. It was rather different from the movies. It sounded more like a firecracker. I heard it from a different direction this time. Apparently the enemies had surrounded me without me noticing. Enemies? Would police officers really be so quick to fire at a suspect? Regardless, I need to get out of here, so I started running again. My feet slid on the ground and kicked up pebbles. I left my hatchet behind earlier. Should I go get it? What should I do? Given the situation, I had to take to make a quick decision. It may have been difficult to accept that I was suddenly being shot at. I have to go back. I won't be able to fight without a weapon. When I calmed down, I realized that a hatchet was a poor weapon to use against enemies armed with guns. I love this music. So I ran back to the road. I came from without doubting myself. I noticed several men armed with guns running this direction. I didn't recognize their faces, and I couldn't understand why they were all dressed in dark outfits. But the one thing I did understand was that their muzzles smelled of gunpowder and were pointed right at me. Even though I was able to keep calm, I still didn't know what to do. There was nothing else to do. The shot struck me. No! The shot made me feel like I was floating in the air. A strand of my hair gently fell down from the sky. The next moment I tumbled to the ground. Some sharp pebbles caught into my cheeks and I banged my ankle. This is a very big typo right here. It should be ankle on a tree root. My body started rolling down the hill. I was rotating so fast I couldn't tell up from down. My limbs were being tossed around like a toy, and the ground continued beating up my defenseless body. Is this the curse of Oyashiro-sama? No way, it couldn't be like this. But then who are these people? Slam. I hid my head on the trunk of a massive tree and finally stopped rolling. Is this the end? Am I going to die right here? My whole body felt hot, especially my arms. They were burning up so hot it felt like they were about to come off. The palm of my hand was slimy. I realized what it was without even looking. It was blood. Blood was pouring out of me. When I looked, I saw blood dripping from my right shoulder all the way to my hand. The blood was pouring profusely from my upper arm, spurting with every pulse. My arm was shot. But it was just my arm, right? I gently tried moving my ankle, and it moved. Oh, sorry about that. Knocked the microphone a bit. So I can still walk. I can't let myself give in to Oyashiro-sama. I can still fight. Another rush of energy suddenly came to me when I realized there was still hope of survival. I put my left hand on my knee and staggered to my feet. I won't give in. Let's go. Start walking! And shortly after I started walking... God damn it. Who the fuck is that? It was close by. Just as I heard those noises, an athletic-looking man was rolling on the ground toward me. I nearly shouted, but I caught myself and suppressed the urge. Then he tumbled to the ground right at my feet, and I noticed there was a policeman in uniform.
これもお社様のたたりなの?
Is this the curse of Oyashiro-sama too?
My head was spinning, but I desperately tried to comprehend the situation. Did Oyashiro-sama kill a police officer? Why? Because of the curse? No way, that doesn't sound right. Get away from the village! I heard a voice coming from the officer at my feet. His stomach was gleaming with a dark, damp substance. This man was on the verge of death. I knew that instinctively. Get away from Minamizawa! The police officer squeezed out a few hoarse words, desperately trying to tell me something. I cautiously sat down beside the police officer. This man is going to die soon, so it'll be all right. I convinced myself of that as I moved my head close to the policeman. The officer was coughing up blood as he squeezed out a few more words. Toxic gas from Onigafushi swamp. Everyone in the village is dead. It's the end of Inamizawa. Oyashiro. Curse. After that, I could only hear the whistling sound of his breath.
ちょっとどういうことなの?
Hold on. What is that supposed to mean?
毒ガスって
shook the police officer by the shoulders. He said that toxic gas was released from Onigofuji swamp, and all the villagers are already dead? Was that also part of Oyashiro-sama's curse?
学校に知らない人がいっぱいいたのはそれと関係があるの？
And what about all the strangers at the school? Does that have something to do with it?
I shook his shoulders even more.
ねえ、みんな死んだってどういうこと？
Hey, what do you mean everyone is dead?
ねえ、教えてください。
Come on, please tell me, come on!
But the officer's neck just shook from the force. His eyes were open, but they were no longer looking at anything. He's been dead for a while now. I had no time to waste talking to corpses, so I gently set the corpse down and took a deep breath. The curse of Oyashiro-sama? Don't be ridiculous. That doesn't align with the will of Oyashiro-sama at all. So what killed him? I held down the blood in my arm, and I rose to my feet and began walking again. I recognize these mountains. If I cut through here, it shouldn't take long to reach my hideout in the garbage mountain. So I kept walking. I kept walking under the cover of darkness. Once in a while, I could hear gunshots off in the distance. Maybe they were chasing a field rabbit or something, thinking it was me. Either way, I was grateful. I cradled my battered body and regulated my breathing to avoid making any noise as I continued walking forward. That police officer must have been shot by mistake, right? Suddenly, suspicion started bubbling up inside me. At that point in time, they had already shot me. There were some other key points, but I was definitely shot. The enemy should have known this, but even so, they shot at the policeman. That officer and I looked completely different, and were wearing completely different clothes. My heart was throbbing, and it wasn't just because of my injuries. I had no doubt that something mysterious was going on, but I had no idea what it could be. An entire village annihilated by a gas disaster? Toxic gas was pouring through the village while I was running through the forest? If that's the case, will it kill me too? Something crunched under the scraggly soles of my feet. It was an empty can. Before I realized it, I had arrived at the garbage mountain. I headed straight up to the station wagon. When I opened the sliding door and found my favorite cushions neatly lined up, I felt relieved. I made it here safely. I leaned against the seat and wiped my wound with a towel. Once I applied some pressure on my arm, the pain started to recede. I never brought a first aid kit here. I'd have to go home to get one. Hello, T. Welcome to the stream. I thought that. But once I sank into the seat, it seemed to be difficult to get up again. All the fatigue that had been building up finally released. It'll be okay for me to rest here for a little while, right? This is my secret hideout. Nobody should be able to find me here. It's my territory, my safe zone. If I have to die from some gas disaster, I want to die sleeping here. I cautiously closed my eyes while thinking that. Wrestle, wrestle. My throbbing nerves started up again. I definitely heard a sound out in the darkness just now. I held my breath for a moment.
Who's that?
There was no reply. Is somebody hiding out there? I held my breath and took a look around. Wrestle, wrestle. I could faintly hear a sound. I'd like to turn on the lamp to get a better look at the surroundings, but that would only give my location away to the enemy. So I concentrated on looking around in the dark, desperately surveying the area. Who's hiding out there? Did you come here to find me? How do you know I'd be here? Eventually, my eyes got used to the darkness. I thought it was strange. Something was nagging at the corner of my mind. Something seemed off. It was strange. Rustle, rustle. It wasn't the sound of a person. It was the sound of papers rubbing together. What a relief. I looked down at the source of the sound.
But what's this?
それじゃまさか。
No way!
I need to get going. I have to tell someone about this. No matter what it takes, I need to let someone know. I stretched my hand out in the darkness to grab the frame and pull myself out of the station wagon. God damn
撃
it!
たれたことすらすぐにはわかそれから吸い込まれるように眠気が襲ってきて覚悟していた痛みよりも焼けるような熱さが 全身を駆け巡っていった。あの子たちは見つからずに逃れることができただろうか。この流れのたどり着く先はどこだろうか。忘れた。お願い。あいつら以外の人なら誰でもいい。あの子たちを見つけ出して、そして受け取ってください。こんな悲しい運命が
God damn it. Why did you leave the...
終わりますように。
Why did you leave the car?
これに気づいたあなた、真相を解き明かしてください。これはたたりなんかじゃない。それだけが
God, baby girl.
私の願いです。
I was really hoping you would survive this one. God damn it! Fucking hell. Jesus Christ! What a chapter, though. What a chapter. I gotta say, as the biggest Rena fangirl ever, I really like that chapter. But my God, did that just give us so much? Holy shit. My God. Let's watch this opening here, because I really like this one. My God. Honestly, I can see why some people wouldn't like it. I can totally see that. You know, it didn't go into a lot of detail. Some people acted a bit out of character, but you could kind of explain that because of, you know, Hinamizawa's stuff. I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't gotten to Minagoroshi yet. And I just honestly, I thought this arc gave a lot of things that I wanted to see in the story, but I didn't get to but that never actually came up. We got more Shion and Rena. We got even more, so much Keiichi and Rena, like shipping stuff, whether it was like yandere wise or sweet wise or otherwise. Like, we just got, you know, this arc gave me a lot of what I love about Higurashi was in this arc. And while I understand that it's not the best arc, you can barely count it as an arc on its own because it didn't have its own beginning part. It's basically an alternative second half of Tatagoroshi. And so you can't really, it's not, I don't think it's fair even to try to compare it to a full arc from beginning to end. But I thought for what it was, an alternative ending, it gave so much of what things I wanted to see in the main story of Higurashi that we never really got to. And you know, I'll say it again, Rena is my favorite character in Higurashi. So seeing so much Rena focus did not bother me in the least. I love Rena. I'm sorry. I adore Rena. She is my baby girl. I love her so fucking much. Seriously. Like, just even though she was like driven insane, just look how badass she was. My God. And, you know, I would leave right now, but actually, there's one more thing I gotta show you guys. For whatever reason, I have no idea why, but beating Tsukiotoshi unlocked and, here we go. Unlocked an alternate ending for Tadai Mawashi. That I have no idea why. Don't ask me why. Beating Tsukiotoshi unlocks a Tadai Mawashi alternate ending. But it just does. And I'm pretty sure it's not that long. It's 20 minutes without me reading out loud. 10 minutes without me reading out loud. And so for those who haven't seen Tadai Mawashi, it was the very first thing I did on this channel. Back when I didn't even do a stream, I just did a recorded Let's Play. I didn't even do voices. I did the tea party with Tadai Mawashi. I did the all-cast review with Tadai Mawashi. Oh wait, so don't worry about that one. That one, I did with Taramawashi in the last Taramawashi video. And so let me just get you everyone up to speed for what little actually happened in Taramawashi. It's supposedly an alternate Onikakushi, but basically the thing that happened was that it was I'm going to spoil something here, so for Miyakashi. If you haven't read Miyakashi, then you should turn off the stream right now, because what I'm about to say spoils Miyakashi. Basically, Shion and Mion had switched places. It was a whole Miyakashi thing that had happened, but it was much less detailed, and like it was just they barely got into that fact. It was basically a club game, some random hanging out, and then some subtle hints that Mion and Shion had swapped places, that Mion was in the dungeon, and that Shion had taken her place as Mion. So seemingly she killed Audio and you know what's going around. But again, very little was revealed, and in the end, after the Great Hinamizawa disaster, it was found that Mion, the real Mion, had actually lived. They found her locked in the cellar in, you know, the Sonozaki family dungeon, and she was basically in a catatonic, traumatized state. And that's where, and she was the only survivor of that fragment, and that's where it ended. Very depressingly, but no real. It was also very underwhelming. Like, there was no real plot to it. So let's see the alternate ending to Tadaimawashi.
すみません。もうそろそろ。
And yeah, it ended with Uishi visiting Mion in the hospital here. And I think Akasaka was with him too. Excuse me? It's about time. The nurse watching the exchange near the entrance timidly called out to Uishi and Akasaka. Akasaka looked over his shoulder and nodded, then put a hand on Uishi's shoulder and spoke.
Oishi-san. 今日はこのくらいにしておきましょう。
Uishi-san, let's leave it at that for today.
すみません。あと少しだけお願いします。
I'm sorry. May it please just a little longer.
Then Uishi pulled a plastic evidence bag out of his handbag. Inside of that was a lightly stained beret.
園崎美音さん。この帽子に見覚えはありませんか？
Mion Sonozaki-san, do you recognize this hat?
Oh my god. Yep, she died in the disaster. Of course she did. Uishi sat it down by Mion's knees in a rough gesture. That instant, the playing cards fell from Mion's hands. But Uishi didn't focus on that. Instead, he moved in closer to gaze into Mion's eyes and inquire.
見たことありますよね。いや、あなたは絶対覚えているはずだ。
You've seen it, haven't you? Nah, I'm certain you should remember it.
これはあなたのお友達だった竜宮レナさんがいつもかぶっていた帽子ではありませんか。
This is the hat your friend Rena and Keiichi-san always wore, ain't it?
これはですね、ひなみ沢村を流れる川の下流から発見されたものです。木箱に入って流れてきたものを釣り人が発見してくれました。
This is it. It was found downstream in the river, flowing through Namazawa. Fishermen found inside a drifting wood box.
ハムスターの死骸が入ったカゴと一緒にね。
It was found inside, along with the remains of a hamster.
What the fuck? I forgot, did Rena have a pet hamster? How did her, I guess, she was killed alongside it, I guess? Whether Mion was listening to Uishi's words or not, she was staring intently at the hat with a vacant look in her eyes. Her expression was devoid of animation, as if her emotions had broken down. It was hard to tell if she would respond or not, but Uishi steeled himself and called out to her with all his might.
わかりますか？この帽子が一緒に入っていたということは、 竜宮レナさんがその木箱を川に流したということだと考えられるのです。
Do you understand? The fact that these were found together leads me to believe that Rena and Ryugu-san was the one who cast this box into the river.
しかしその意図がわからない。でもあなたならこれに込められたメッセージがわかるはずだ。
However, I don't understand why, but you might be able to understand the message behind this.
いつも一緒に遊んでいた友達のあなたなら。
You were a friend. You were always playing together.
お願いです。園崎美音さん。ひなみ沢に何が起こったのか。竜宮レナさんは何かを伝えようとした。
Please. Miss Sonozaki-san. Rena and Ryugu-san was trying to tell us something about what happened in Namazawa.
これを解き明かせば、この大災害の秘密に少しでも迫ることができるはずなんです。だから目を覚ましてください。
If we can unravel this, it might bring us one step closer to unraveling the secret behind the disaster. So please wake up!
刑事さん。
Detective! Ueshi put his hands on Mion's shoulders as his voice roared. The moment the nurse saw that, she pulled his oversized body away from
乱
Mion.
暴はやめてください、刑事さん。
Please cease this violent behavior, detective!
大石さん、落ち着いてください。
Ueshi-san, please calm down. Ueshi instinctively tried to shake the nurse off, but he returned to himself after Akasaka stepped in. And then all the strength in his shoulders receded.
大丈夫ですか、園崎さん。もういい加減にしてください。
Are you alright, Sonozaki-san? It's enough, please, no more! This nurse sounds a lot like Eva from Umineko.
今日はもうお引き取り願いますか。
Isn't that enough for today?
すみません。やりすぎました。
I'm sorry.
興奮してしまって。
I went too far. I lost control.
こんな乱暴なことをするようでしたら、今後の面会は一切お断りさせていただきます。ここは病院で、この人は患者さんなんですよ。
If you're going to behave this violently, I won't allow you to visit in the future. You're in a hospital. Do you realize she's a patient?
それを。
Honestly.
看護師さん、この人はひなみ沢で大勢の人を亡くしています。
Nurse.
そのあたりの事情をどうかご理解ください。
There's the fucking train. This man has lost an incredible number of people in Yamizawa. Please, try to understand the circumstances behind that.
お願いします。
I beg of you. The nurse was agitated, but Akasaka's intervention somehow managed to smooth things over. And then, when Akasaka turned to him and flashed a signal, Ueshi gently nodded.
園崎美音さん、その帽子はここに置いていきます。
Sonozaki Mion-san. I'll leave that hat here.
また明日来ますので、何か思い出したら教えてください。
I'll be back tomorrow. So please, tell me if y'all remember anything.
それでは。
Alright. That's all.
I'm sorry, OA. It's just that the train is so loud to me. I keep forgetting that you guys can't hear it that well. Because it is so loud to me. Then, Ueshi stepped out of the hospital room with Akasaka.
まったく。大丈夫ですか、園崎さん。
Unbelievable. Are you alright, Sonozaki-san?
そうか。
Oh my god, she snapped out of it. That's it.
園崎さん。
Sonozaki-san? Mion was sitting silently, staring blankly at the hat resting by her knees, and then suddenly raised her head and spoke up. The light in her eyes finally returned.
看護師さん、お願い。さっきの刑事さんを呼び戻して。
Nurse, please, call those detectives back here.
まだ遠くに行っていないはずだから。
They couldn't have gotten far.
どうしたのです、園崎さん。それにあなた、記憶が。
What's going on? Sonozaki-san, did you get your memories back?
わかった。わかったんだ。レナの伝えたかったことが。
I understand. I understand what Rena was trying to tell us.
ひなみ沢で大災害なんて起きなかったんだよ。
There was no disaster in Hinamizawa.
だからお願い、
So please, bring them back right away!
わかりました。ちょっと待っていてくださいね。
Understood. Please, wait a moment, okay?
レナ、あんた命をかけて伝えてくれたんだね。受け取ったから。私確かにあんたのメッセージ受け取ったから。
Rena, you gave your life to send this message. I received it. Yes, I absolutely did receive it. Mion held the hat in the plastic bag to her chest and tightly embraced it. And then, knowing the filthy stain on the hat was a blood stain, she began spilling tears while thinking of her friend. Then the next morning, at 5:17 a.m. What? Oh, those sons of bitches! Mion Sonozaki was pronounced dead as a result of acute heart failure. She was probably assassinated. Oh my god. Son of a bitch. Oh, that didn't add much. I thought she was going to tell them. Yeah, that's Tadai Mawashi for you. Jesus Christ. Okay. God damn it. I thought she was going to tell them. Oh, God. I bet the Mountain Hounds fucking murdered her. Oh, God. Seriously. With the actual fuck. Yeah, that would be an alternate ending to Tadai Mawashi, wouldn't it? God damn it. Okay, you guys. Well, we finished Tsukiotoshi. And with that, I'm just gonna give you a little, Really, that scene was kind of adapted in the anime-only arc. One of the anime-only arcs. Next time, we are going to, start with Yoigoshi next time for Higurashi. Atsugi? Oh, Tsukiotoshi. Yeah, I like Tsukiotoshi as well, Apparition. I really liked it. Next time we are going to do Yoigoshi, which is apparently about Akane. Which is cool, because, I think that Mion and Shion's mom is a really cool character that we didn't see enough of. So, an arc focused around her will seem to be quite interesting. So tomorrow will be more Fata Morgana, and in 2 days we start Yoigoshi. So, I hope you all enjoyed Tsukiotoshi as much as I did. I know that's a fairly unpopular opinion. I've heard Miyotsukushi is really good. I can't wait to get to Miyotsukushi. I've heard a lot of good things about Miyotsukushi. So, until then, in 2 days, Yoigoshi. Tomorrow we go back to Fata Morgana. I will say, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. You're all the sweetest of hearts. See ya.